What could it be, folks? Stick around and find out. All right, so I want to show what this crate looks like when it shows up. It's pretty well packaged here. It's all wrapped in cellophane, and it's got a metal crate sitting on a pallet, all strapped together. So it's pretty well packaged. And when I open it up, I'll get you some more video. I am not going to do a video on how to put this together because Range Road has video on their YouTube page that goes over how to do this, and it's pretty extensive. If there's anything that I see that they missed, I will add that in, but they pretty much cover it step by step. But this is how it comes delivered to your door from your local dealer. I think some dealers will also put it together for you. Might charge you a little something for that. I don't know. You'd have to talk to your dealer, your local dealer. And they do have, like, in the States, I think they have like 50 some dealers. So I know there's not one in Iowa. I had to go to one from Wisconsin. I will put their website in the description of this video if you're in the Wisconsin area, the western Wisconsin area. I think they have like 3 dealers in Wisconsin, but I'm not sure. But anyway, this is my closest one. But that's what it comes to your door from the freight company. Okay, so it's very similar to how my Woodland Mills stuff comes. Got the little metal lid that sits on the metal frame, and then there's a cardboard box. It was strapped in there, but see the motor and all the parts in here, and here's the belt, the conveyor, and here's the tires. Everything's wrapped up, packaged pretty well in here. It's all tucked in there. Hydraulic hoses. So I'll get this stuff taken out. Like I said, it's packaged nice and neatly. I'll get these components out and laid out, and then I'll get to assembling this thing. Like I said, I'm not gonna go over every little detail of this because they have pretty good video on their YouTube channel, which I'll put a link in the description for that video if this is something you're interested in. Okay, so I got all of these pieces laid out in front of me here. And see, there's a piece down here too. But they're all wrapped in cellophane, really nice and neat to hold the bolts in and stuff like that. So I am going to begin putting it together. Instructions don't come in the box, but they do have them on their website in PDF form, so you can print them off. And this is 19 pages long, pictures and steps, so should be fairly easy. I'll let you know more as we go. Okay, I'm going to just give you a quick overview of what I've done so far. This piece here connects to this piece here. There's 4 bolts that go in the back. Underneath, there's like a tube that slides into this piece. It's a tube right here. 2 bolts into there. Put these hubs on, the wheels on, and 4 bolts to put the motor on with the pump facing towards the wheels. So that's what we got so far. All right, so I've been plugging away here. I even had storm cover for a little bit to help set this trough on top. So, yeah, that yellow part goes on the front. Got a hydraulic cylinder in between. You mount down here using this with the bottom side of the trough on both sides. Got to put the hydraulic motor on there. Got to put the valve assembly on, hook up all the hoses. And like I said, their video goes over it pretty good detail. So I'm not going to go over which goes where. They pretty much have the fittings all set up in a manner in which you cannot mess up. This top one's got a needle valve to control how quickly this raises and lowers. Otherwise, for your motor, it pretty much just goes straight to it. Return, supply, you know, that pretty much is that. Got the tank here. All the bolts just go right in. There's threaded holes for those to go into. Yeah, so I think I got jack stand to put on yet, and put the tongue on, and then put the belt in. But that's where I'm at so far. I've been at it for a couple hours for sure, so it's probably going to take me 3 or 4 hours altogether to get it running and all set and everything. But yep, all the hoses are all the fittings are on the hoses already, so you don't have to worry about any of that. So yeah, pretty good experience so far. Instructions are okay, but like I said, there's that video. You watch that video and that kind of fills in the blanks a little bit. But we'll be back. Okay, let's take a quick walk around of this. You got jack stands on each side for the lower end. Right there's the hydraulic motor that runs this at the bottom. This controls the conveyor belt. This controls up and down of lifting of the boom, the conveyor head, or whatever body, whatever you want to call it, controls that. There's the hydraulic tank. I think it's 6 liters. So you folks that understand how that converts to gallons, you know exactly how much that is. It was quite a bit of my 5-gallon bucket, so I don't know, I'd say 2, maybe 3 gallons. So get a little better view over here. So the upper end rides right here, basically on this beam. And there's a support, that yellow support there, and that's barely holding on, so we'll get that locked on. But this is how you adjust the tracking. Try to get them equal distance. It does look like I'm rubbing on this side a little bit. We'll see how it goes when we get a load on it. The nice thing is it doesn't take much to adjust that. Here's the little power unit. It is 179 cc. And I have no idea what brand of motor that is. So yeah, you saw it operating. Splicing it together was interesting. Here's the splice. So it's a bunch of metal loops, and then I had to push this wire through and then bend the other end. So that's what splices this bad boy together. And this is it's kind of a really heavy belting, and this is like molded. These little deals molded on there. It's very rough, very rough. So I I don't think it'll be too much of an issue getting firewood to go up. This is as high as it will go right now. That's all the way up. And you can put a little tongue on there with a 2-inch coupler to pull this thing around. It's not like highway rated, but it'll roll around pretty easily in the wood yard. Here we got a little level deal sight glass so you can see how much hydraulic fluid you have. Make sure you got enough. So I put a bunch in there, ran it. So I had to get this thing raised up so I could get that belting. I had it in the wrong configuration, so I had to get it raised up so I could get the belt pulled out so I could get the belt put on there. I would highly recommend having some help when you're doing that. I did it by myself, but I'm like a Superman. I brought it right to the end. Of course, I had it lowered down, but I brought it right to the end, and this is where I did it. Like right in this area here. But yeah, 3-4 hours total. Now I still got 20-30 minutes of cleaning up tools and stuff. But I'm not going to end the video here. I'm going to get this thing over to the woodlot. We're going to set some things up. We're going to do a little split, and I think you deserve that. Don't you think? I think so. So stick with me. We'll put this thing to use. Alright, so got everything set up here. Basically that conveyor is idling. I don't really need that belt to go very fast. The only time I do have to bring up the RPMs is if I'm moving the boom up or down. You have to pretty much have it wide open at that point. But it's just idling, chugging along. Got the log lift bag set up at the other end. I have a few rounds over here split. They're cut up. I'm going to split those and just see how things go. So, let's see. So yeah, not too loud. Not quite half of it was full. These are some fuse that I had cut up there. It's been a mud hole over here, so I haven't been doing much. It's been a mud hole over here, so I haven't been doing much firewood production, but yeah, that worked pretty good. I'll show you, I'm hanging over the edge here. Mount feed table of the super split a little bit, but there's still plenty of room here. And I could actually bring these jacks down. They're fully extended right now. That seems to work okay. And I am almost right up against the tongue of the conveyor, is almost up against the super split. Pretty sure the tongue of the super split is up against the conveyor. And I got just a little bit of room here. You can see when the belt comes around. But yeah, that worked out pretty slick. Pretty happy about that. Out of the sun and out of the wind, so we can talk a little bit. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this conveyor so far. Of course, I did one whole run on it. I did have to fiddle around with a little bit for the tracking on it, but it wasn't too terribly bad. But yeah, I spent pretty much all morning working on it. A little bit into the afternoon, but pulled over here okay. I'm not going real fast. I'm in town, so I'm going, 25, 30 mile an hour. It pulled over here pretty good, and that's what that's designed to do. It's not designed to go on the highway. If I had to transport this to somewhere over the highway, I'd have to put it on a trailer, tie it down. But yeah, this seems to be the key. That's so nice to just push the logs off the end of the outfeed table, and sometimes you'll have big wide pieces, and I can hold it on my side and hit it, and it pushes up while I bring up the next one, hit it, and that just pushes it on and pushes it on, and it'll basically just fall off the end and into the conveyor. So this should be a huge time saver for me. It's basically like having another person that's throwing the wood up into the bag for you. And at that slower speed, it's just idling. It's just going to sip the gas. I have a feeling it's just going to sip the gas, and I don't have to worry about it, throwing really far and like over the bag, the bag hole. It's dropping right down in the middle, and I can't even do that myself when I'm throwing it in there by hand, because you got to throw it up a little bit, so it always seems to hit on the backside and just kind of keeps pushing on the backside. This way, it's just dropping right down in the middle of the bag. So that is definitely an advantage. So I'm pretty excited about that. And that bag seems to be sitting on there pretty good right now. And with the wind, sometimes it gets pulled in different directions. But once a few pieces got in there, and it just kind of cones up in the middle and then falls off to the sides. So it works pretty good. I definitely need to run it with it fully up in the air, which is fine. Then the bag fits underneath there. And basically the rack, bring you guys up so you can see this here. You can see the rack actually is kind of into the conveyor a little bit, kind of goes past the end of the conveyor, which is perfect because then it makes it so the pieces drop right in the middle of the bag. So yeah, I definitely need to have that raised all the way up like it is now. The company is Range Road, and the company is out of Canada, and I think it's just like Woodland Mills does. They design and everything, but they have somebody in China make it. So they outsource that part of it, just like Woodland Mills does. So that probably rubs some people the wrong way. Would have I loved to gotten an Easton-made conveyor, or one of those other guys here in North America, those companies, sure, but this is like a third of the price of one of theirs. Seriously, it's a third of the price. And I just don't have the funds to buy one of those conveyors, like a Wolf Ridge or an Easton made. And I will say they've quit making this particular model, and their next model has a single chain conveyor instead of the belt. So they've gone away from the belt, and they have a single chain. But this is what my dealer had in stock. He had one of these. So this is what I ordered. And I ordered it on like Wednesday or Thursday, and I got it not that Friday, but the next week Friday. So it took like a week and a day to get here, or a week and 2 days, something like that. I'm pretty excited to have it. Every year I try to invest something into the company to increase production, and this year that's what it was. For 2 years now, I've been wanting to get a wood chipper, but for 2 years now I've skipped a wood chipper for something else. Last year it was the Super Split, and I'm really glad that I got that, because that thing is fast, and for my bundlewood it's like the key for bundlewood. Okay. And then this year I was thinking about getting a wood chipper again, and I started doing these bags, these firewood bags, and I'm like, I need a conveyor. So I skipped the wood chipper again this year and bought this conveyor. And shipped to my house, it was just south of $3,200. That's shipped to my house with the lift gate and everything. Not that I needed the lift gate, I just used the tractor, but they don't give you an option to not have a lift gate, pretty much. If you have a residential address, you're getting a lift gate, and you pay like $100 for it or something. It's just the way it is. I've had it with so many things that I've ordered online. It would be nice if there was dealers in my area for this type of stuff, but there isn't. There just isn't. This is not a logging area. This is an agricultural area. So if I want something for firewood production or milling or things like that, and then to do with logging or firewood, I have to order it. I have to order it and have it shipped here. It's just the nature of the beast. Or I have to drive to up in Wisconsin somewhere and pick it up, or freaking Pennsylvania or something like that. Some place where there are dealers for stuff like this. But rather than driving all that way, I think it's just cheaper to have it shipped. I don't know. I don't like driving around either. I am really a homebody. You know, all of these shows and stuff, like the Paul Bunyan show and stuff like that. I'd love to go to them, but they're so dang far away from me. You know, none of that stuff is close to me. And I know guys travel much further than me to go to those shows. You know, you have guys from the West Coast that go all the way to the Paul Bunyan show. You know, that's like 3 times as far as me. But I really don't like traveling that much. I really like being close to home. You know, that's just me. But I am thinking about this coming summer, maybe doing a little traveling. One of you guys, one of my viewers, my subscribers, has invited me to come up to his place, and he's in the UP of Michigan. I think that'd be a pretty cool place to go. Not a lot of people. That's kind of my kind of place where there isn't a lot of people. Um, I live in rural Iowa. That's what I'm used to. That's what I like. Um, I like people that are like from this area too. You know, not saying everybody's great here, but there's a lot of good people here, and I know there's good people everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But when the population of an area increases, so do the number of people I don't want to be around. So I don't know. Just the way I am. Um, anyway, kind of a ramble there. But yeah, I am excited to have this Range Road conveyor. It's 18 foot long. But yeah, it's 12 inches wide, 18 foot long. And it worked well. It worked really well on this test. And yeah, it was only, a third of that bag. But it's a good little first test, and it's been a long day. It's about time to go clean up and snuggle with my puppies or something. Um, and stretch out my back. Because I've been bending over all day long working on this, putting this thing together. And it's time to straighten my back out a little bit. But I do want to thank all of you for stopping in today and watching this video. And I will be showing this more on the channel. Storm and I will probably do some big production days where we're both over here. One guy will be splitting and the other guy cutting. And, I'll get a bunch of rounds ahead because I think, the splitter can really keep up with somebody cutting. And then also the guy cutting will be moving logs, switching out bags, and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'll let Storm decide what he wants to do, being cutter guy or splitter guy. And we'll just do a morning or a day, because I really think that with this setup and 2 of us going, we could probably make well over a cord an hour. I truly believe that. Especially if I'm not messing with bundlewood. If I'm separating out bundlewood, then it might take a little bit longer. But if we're doing smaller logs, it'll be all just into the bags. I do want to show you one more thing about this. So this isn't really anything that I'm going to be utilizing right now, but you can pull a pin here and turn these wheels this direction. So when you do that to both wheels, then you can swing the whole conveyor side to side. I want to thank you for stopping in today, checking this out. Until next time, be safe, brothers and sisters.